Hello there, listeners. Welcome back to Podcast Demastered. I'm here today with my good friends Ethan and Chelsea, and we're here to welcome you to November. As crazy as that sounds, we had a whole month of spooky episodes, and this month we've delegated to a rather special thing, I think, for all of us. But this month will be particularly focused on Harry Potter. So if you're a Harry Potter fan, great, hang on, because we got all sorts of fun episodes planned around that. If you're not a fan of Harry Potter, still keep listening, and maybe we can change your mind, or maybe we'll hit upon something that you can still agree to or talk about.
Or you can come back in December.
Or you can come back in December. That's fine too, I guess.
Just give it a chance. Yeah.
Let's see where to start with Harry Potter. There's so much to talk about, really. There's always the books, of course. There's the movies, the video games, the music, the moments, the characters. There's just so much. But today, we just kind of want to walk you all through how we feel about the series and some of our favorites within. I know that for me, I started reading Harry Potter somewhere in the second grade, like whenever they were first coming out. I think maybe the first 3 books might have been out when I started getting into Harry Potter. What about you two?
Well,
I would say.
Now, Chelsea, go ahead. I'm trying to do math in my head real quick, so you can go.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of hard to remember the exact moment. I was going to say it was probably around the 3rd grade as well. That's what I remember. Really getting into the series and then reading them. And then my mom would have to read it when I was asleep because she wanted to read it at the same time I was reading them.
Oh, that must have been nice.
Yeah. It's a whole family thing.
I was going to ask if you all actually had any problems wanting to read the Harry Potter series.
Well, okay, so when I started the series, I want to say Goblet of Fire may have already just came out. And because there was a little bit of a gap from that one to Order of the Phoenix, and I actually remember my sister going to the, I think midnight release of Order of the Phoenix. Because we were all, by that point, myself, my sister, and my mom were all pretty well hooked on the series. I actually got started with Harry Potter in school, suspension. I don't remember why I was in school suspension.
Tell me more.
I know. I was like, I wanted to know more.
there's dozens of reasons it could have been. It was an often occurrence, so I can't really remember exactly. But anyways, I had a week of just basically sitting in detention during school. And within that week, the first 2 days, I finished all of my coursework for the whole week. The teachers have a kid send down all your work for the week. And I did it all because I wasn't a dumb kid. I didn't apply myself, and I was a joker in class. But anyways. So I had to fill out the rest of my time, the other 3 days, with just it was kind of study hall. I either would just sleep on my desk, or there was a bookshelf in the back of the room, and it had 4 books on it. It was the dictionary, of mice and men, or some schoolroom classic. And then there was Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. And I was like, oh, I'll just read this. It looks pretty short. It's at least fantasy, which I like. And I finished the book during that stint of in-school suspension. And I remember telling my sister about the book series. And then she started reading them. And then we got the books for Christmas, The Chamber of Secrets and Prisoner of Azkaban. Read all those, and then we tried to get my mom into it, and she's like, no, it's a kid's book, I don't care, yada yada yada. Finally convinced her, and then she blasted through the series. And then my mom and sister always read the books first after we were all kind of hooked, because they would read them much quicker than I did. Like, my sister's 5 years older than me, so I kind of was like bottom of the pecking order when it came to reading. So my mom would read the book, and then my sister would read it, or vice versa, and then I'd finally get a copy. And when it came to Goblet of Fire, it took me so long to actually read that book because it's quite a bit different in terms of the writing and then also just the length. The first 3 books are pretty small. They're like 200-300 pages and pretty easy, an easy read, very kid friendly, I guess. And then Goblet of Fire, like, it's not vastly different, but it's a little bit more dense. For me, at that time, it was so boring to read. I was so bored. And I, like, stopped, like, halfway. I think I got to, like, the Yule Ball, and I was like, I'm done with this book. And I, like, set it aside. I set it aside for, like, maybe, like, 8 months or something like that. Like, I came back to it, like, maybe, like, almost, not quite a year later, but, like, a while later. Because I want to say, like, Order of the Phoenix was announced. And I was like, ooh, that's really cool. This excites me. I'm, like, hooked again. So I went back and I just kind of, like, pushed through Goblet of Fire. And once it got to, like, I would say the last third of the book was pretty exciting. A lot of big things happened, obviously. But as a kid, like, reading that first third, I was just like, Jesus Christ, I don't care about any of this. This is so boring to me. So, but that's kind of like how I remember latching on to the series, was being in detention. So.
Fair enough. I remember, like, with a lot of my other nerdy stuff, I had a friend who got me into it, but unfortunately my parents were the very, like, they were the ones who were saying, oh, Harry Potter is like the devil.
Oh, yeah. I had it, yeah.
So if you all remember, like, turning on the news and stuff and having to hear about that all the time. And my family was very religious at the time, so they cared a lot. Even though I was like you have to at least, like, read it, like, it has nothing to do with the devil. It's not like black magic or anything, but they didn't really care. So I would just get them from the library and read them at school. I could keep them in my desk and just read them at school for a while. But then I can't remember, like, right when the 5th book came out, I think my grandma actually bought it for me, and she, like, wrote a sweet little note in it to me, like, on the front little, like, front little page there, letting me know that, like, it was okay to read what I wanted to read because it wasn't anybody else's business, kind of thing.
It's okay if you like devil worship. We'll still love you.
She understood what it actually was. So I think with my grandma's help, like, my mom got over it. Because at that point, I was gonna read what I wanted anyway because I was getting older. So.
Right, makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never really had any of those concerns within my family. Like, there's like an aunt further down the pipeline that was very much, like, adamantly against Harry Potter, but she's against most things that are good. So right. We kind of don't really take her opinion with any seriousness. So. Like, my immediate, like, family or whatever didn't have filters for stuff like that. Not that Harry Potter needed filtered, but even if it was devil worship, they wouldn't care, I guess is what my point is.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely a series that does get darker and everything, and I know that, I've mentioned before in, like, previous episodes that I wasn't allowed to watch, like, PG-13 movies or anything until I was 13, but when it came to reading and everything, it was fine. I mean, because my parents trusted me to believe that, it was fictional and wasn't devil worshipping and stuff anyway. And my mom got into them, my dad did, and my sisters eventually got into the books. But I do remember reading Goblet of Fire, and I think my mom actually read ahead of me on that one. And then she just remembered, I just remember her telling me, just be aware things get a little creepy at the end. And I'm like, okay. So she's like, don't read at night. And I'm like, okay.
Don't read at night.
It's fine. Yeah, like, don't read late at night.
Well, all right then.
Yeah. It was all good though.
I mean, to be fair, like the fourth book was kind of when it hit that point of like changing.
Yeah. There was definitely that was a tonal change for sure for the series.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I loved that myself.
Well, it makes sense because the characters are getting older.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So everything has to kind of
everything's got to go around with it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Has anyone read the series multiple times?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I have not. I read them the first 4 I didn't read as they came out, but after that I read them as they came out, and I haven't touched them since. So that means, I guess the last one came out in 2007, and haven't gone back to it since.
Man, that is crazy.
I've never reread a book. I've never. The only book I've ever reread was the Hobbit. It's the only book I've read twice.
I think Harry Potter's definitely worth rereading again, and it's something that I did reread multiple times, like when they all came out, and then right now I'm listening to the audiobooks, and we just started Goblet of Fire actually the other day. So
I've heard the audiobooks.
That one's
good.
A long one. Oh, they're amazing. It's Jim Dale, I believe, and He does a great job with all the voices. Definitely worth a listen.
I mean, it's something that I'm going to try, because I have basically a 2-year-old. So when he, in years down the road when he's reading, I want to try and introduce the series to him, even maybe in audiobook form, and see if he at least latches on, or maybe the films. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
but maybe that.
Have you seen the illustrated versions?
Yeah, I've seen. Yeah, I've seen those.
I want those so bad. Oh my god.
Yeah. But like at that point, it may be like, oh well, maybe this is enough to like spark my interest to reread them. But I feel like I have so many books on my list that I don't know. I just always move on to the next.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair. Well, I mean, like, Ethan, do you still have like your editions of the book? Do you still have your books?
Technically, I never owned them because my sister pretty much bought all of them, so it was kind of just like a shared use.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming she probably still has her copies because as an English teacher and just like a book nerd, she keeps like all of her books so she can have this like grand library someday. Mm-hmm. So I'm assuming she still has all the original prints or whatever.
How about you, Chelsea?
Yeah, I don't personally have them like with me now, but they were like, I did have my own copies and my parents have them all, so they have them on the shelf and everything, and yeah, they're all the original. I think the first 2 actually are paperback and the rest of them are all hardback books. I remember those. And
yeah.
And I think actually for the 7th book, I went with my mom one time and we actually both got copies because we wanted to both read them at the same time because we weren't going to wait for the other person. We were like, no, we need to know what happens. Yeah.
Yeah, especially later on in the series, the idea of I had to wait for my mom to finish and then my sister to finish and then I got a chance. Like I could just tell, especially like the last 2, like by the time they'd get done, they just kind of like give me these looks. They're like, "Oh, kid, you have no idea what you're getting into." And I'm just like, "Oh man!" Like,
oh,
like I distinctly remember when my sister read Order of the Phoenix. Like she would read in her bedroom, but like she was reading at night, and she just like kind of like shut her door, and I could like hear kind of like sobbing when like because she was at the part of the book when Sirius died.
Aww.
And I'm just like, what is fucking happening in this book? Like, I need to know.
That is tragic.
Yeah. So yeah, tandem reading is definitely the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
Tandem reading. See, I didn't have to share with people. Because again, my family thought it was witchcraft, so um, I got the books myself for the most part, and I read them by myself, so I didn't have to deal with that nonsense.
Yeah. Yep. It was. I mean, it was great when I would finish, and then we can all just kind of like come together in like some sort of like book club sort of deal, and just like all talk about it while we're waiting for the next, waiting for the next year or two before the next one came out. Like that was always fun. I always liked that.
I can imagine your family like standing outside your bedroom door, being like, "Are you done yet? Are you done yet?"
They didn't care that much.
No.
I was more standing outside their door, like, "Can you hurry up and finish? It's my turn."
That's accurate.
It's also,
So
I
did
feel
you
like.
guys? Oh.
Go ahead.
Oh, no. Go finish, because I was going to change the topic
Oh,
slightly.
you were going to change it. Oh. I was just going to
Slightly.
say that I think it might be the only book series that I, like, I feel like it would, like, that term, like, a real page turner, like, it applies to, like, this series. I've read a lot of fictional series, and I don't think I've ever read them with, like a way that I've read Harry Potter where I just wanted to just like keep going. Usually when I'm reading a book and I get to like the end of the chapter, I'm like, all right, cool, I'm done for tonight. But when I would read these books, I would always just like see that title of that next chapter, and I'm just like, yeah, we'll go ahead and do this one. And then that next one, I'm just like, oh, this is a very intriguing title. Let's go ahead and knock this out. And then, you're done with the book. Like, I don't usually have that with a lot of book series. So, I don't know.
Fair enough. I think Harry Potter is about the only book series that I can really just go back to. I started rereading Aragon like 2 weeks ago, but I haven't really read that much of it. Not really, like a few chapters. But if I were to reread Harry Potter, like the first book would probably be done by now. Like I would be more motivated, I think, just because it just naturally like drags you on at a better pace, I think.
It's also an easier read because I guess Aragon is also young adult, but like for me, I don't really read a whole lot of young adult stuff. So like reading Harry Potter with it being young adult focused, it's a much easier read than a lot of other stuff, like a Lord of the Rings or something like that. That has it's a way more dense.
Oh, that's true.
And it just has like a different like vernacular to it. Where Harry Potter is like a pretty easy like reading level. So
for sure.
It's kind of easy to just blast through.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, I was just going to randomly say, so did you guys ever go to any of the midnight book releases? Did you guys pre-order any of the books?
Yes.
Yes.
So as I said, my grandma bought me the fifth one. But I was driving by the time 6 and 7 both came out. Well, I may not have been driving yet for the sixth book. But I was able to go to the midnight release of that one, and then also for the seventh one. Like the seventh one was pretty wild. Because one of my friends went with us because like his mom had pre-ordered the book or something, and he's like, "Well, if you nerds are gonna go pick it up, then I guess I go pick my mom's up." Like it was that kind of attitude. Well, we get there, and it was like Walmart in Little Mexico, Missouri. So, like, that was what we had. But we get there, like, lined up, and throughout the day, like, different time periods of the day, they had handed out these colored bracelets. So, like, if you were there, like, that morning, you got a Gryffindor bracelet, a red one, and then so on and so forth throughout the day. And then instead of, like, standing in line all day, you could come back later that night, and then at midnight, they would sell the books to the Gryffindor people first, the red colored, because they were there the earliest that day, and they went down the line. And I remember my friend who was like waiting for his mom's book. for whatever stupid reason, he was up ahead of us. Like he was in the Gryffindor line. I guess his mom must have gotten there that early or something. He was one of the first people to get it, and he takes it and he's like, "Well, this looks really cool," and he flips to the back page and starts to read the last page out loud in this crowd of like 150 people.
One of
And
those
everybody
people.
was like, "Oh my god, like holy crap." Oh, we were freaking out. And this huge like ripped buff guy turns around and picks him up off the floor. And like he drops the book and he's like, "If you finish that sentence, I'll find you outside." And he dropped him, and like the friend like grabbed the book and like left. He was gone.
Some people just like to watch the world burn.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, there were definitely some of those people I remember at some of those midnight book releases I went to. And we'd always be like, "Oh no, they're yelling about something or trying to cause trouble." We're like not listening because they were like the front of the line. So of course, they felt like they should do that. Yeah, I definitely remember going to, I think, at least 3 of the book midnight releases. I would do it. I would go with my mom and we would go to Borders, R.I.P. Borders. I love Borders.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, and then because they would always have activities. So they would have make, a wand or do all kinds of Harry Potter related like goofy things or trivia and giveaways. And one thing in particular I remember is because I had to go in and pre-order the 7th book before like the actual midnight release, and they were giving out stickers. They were like, "Okay, we need you to decide, do you think Snape is good or bad?" And they would give you a sticker based off of that. Well, and then they were trying to like coerce me one way or another because they're like, "All of our like bad stickers are basically out. Nobody's picked Snape as good."
Well, they're probably still pretty pissed from the 6th book, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, how could you not be?
Right?
Yeah. So it was something
cool.
interesting, free stickers, yeah.
Can't go wrong with free stickers.
Mm-mm.
Definitely not.
Yeah, I never went to any of the midnight book releases just because just never really had to.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, they were pretty exciting, but it was all pretty like stressful in a way too, because everybody they just wanted to get their book and they just wanted to go home. Like, just give it to me, get out of the way. Yeah, for real. I remember when the 6th book came out, like we got it, but then the very next day I was in this like summer all-state band thing. And the technical day that the book came out, I had to drive to like Warrenton or Warrensburg or somewhere to like play with this band at like this all-star baseball game or something like that. I can't remember what it was. And so I wasn't allowed to read it like when I got home. I had to go to sleep. But I read it like the whole way there. And then I had the book with me like while we were waiting to perform. But I didn't feel too bad because like half the band also had the book like in their hands and their instrument in the other hands, and like all the people up in the up in the baseball stadium, not like a huge one like the Cardinals, it was just like an outdoor thing. They were also reading the book. And the band director's just like, "What the hell is this?"
Oh, that's great.
He's like, "Y'all are not interested in the game?" And we're like, no. we got stuff to do, man.
Nice.
I remember that day. That was a fun day.
I do remember being like the excessive amount of like books that you would see in school of like people, like all of your classmates like having their copy like just sitting on their desk or in their backpack, or they're just like carrying it around and reading it whenever they could fit in. Like it really was like a craze. Definitely.
Absolutely.
Especially definitely towards the end, like with,
oh my God,
for sure. Like the last 2. So I do remember that.
I don't think anything was ever really like that before, and probably will never happen again. I couldn't imagine anyway.
Yeah, because I mean, there's like niche series that have happened, like like Twilight or Hunger Games and stuff like that have a little bit more niche fan base, I guess. But I feel like Harry Potter kind of reached to a lot of different potential audiences,
Yeah,
and not just like
absolutely
a certain like sect or whatever, which is pretty. It's like a monumental thing for that series in both the books and the films.
Definitely.
Well, speaking of films, we can move on to the films. Did you all get to go watch every one of the Harry Potters in theater?
Yes.
Yeah, I figured that'd be a pretty quick answer. I remember, like the first one came out, and I was fortunate. I got to go watch it with a friend for his birthday party. But if that hadn't happened, I probably wouldn't have gotten to watch the first one in theaters. Because we were in like, I don't know, second grade, third grade, something like that.
They always came out in the summer, and when I was a kid in the summers, I would go to Springfield, Missouri, and spend a week with my grandparents. And it was kind of just like on the docket to go to the theater. And since there was always a Harry Potter film, like almost every summer for like 4 or 5 years in a row, it was just like, all right, well, let's just go see the new Harry Potter film. It's out, So
hey.
Nice.
And then
It's handy.
I remember, yeah. I saw the first one opening day, and I went with my mom because she was a very big fan at the time too, and we were super excited. We were waiting in the super long line to get seated. That was the first time I ever went to an opening day type movie, and it was just crazy. People were like, I think some people were even dressed up at that point, and it was just wild. It was just super exciting just to be a part of the first movie after reading the books, getting super hyped about that, and then watching it, come to life on screen.
I don't think I ever went to any of the midnight releases for any of them.
Oh man.
Oh.
Four of them I had to work. So
yeah, no kidding, right?
So
yeah, that's like a whole other podcast episode right there, talking about Harry Potters while we worked in the theater with them.
Yeah. I was gonna say, wow.
There's a lot there.
I can't remember. I know for sure I built the Deathly Hallow ones, but I can't remember if I built Half-Blood Prince or not. Since Wade and I both worked at the theater, and at some point we were both projectionists at the same time, and it was still film. So
I don't think I was working there yet when
Harry Potter was a thing.
No, when when the Half-Blood Prince was out. I want to say I was working in Mexico's theater still. Like that was pretty early in college territory.
You know what? I didn't build Half-Blood Prince because that's remember the Town Plaza?
Mm-hmm.
They had Half-Blood Prince.
Oh no!
That's what it was, and it was like a huge shock to everyone because everyone had to go to the crappy theater and watch Half-Blood Prince.
That was.
Yeah, right.
I remember building the two Deathly Hallows though, so I had to work premiere night and build these films and run them on have one film print for 4 projectors. That was a fucking nightmare. But yeah, that literally could be a whole nother podcast episode.
Oh yeah,
working at the theater for a lot of these big tentpole films.
Yes,
but yeah, I do remember those. I do remember those crowds. So
well,
I was in that crowd for Deathly Hallows Part 1. I saw that movie honestly 3 times in the same weekend. So I saw it Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with different people.
Wow.
So I had so many friends that were fans, and I was like, sure, I'll go again. It's not like I'm doing anything else. Might as well go to the movies, get popcorn.
No, you were like, wait, you're gonna go see Harry Potter? I'll come with you.
Yeah.
That would
Although
have
honestly, my hot take is I actually despise the Deathly Hallows Part 1, but so, whatever, I saw it 3 times in
wow.
theaters.
You
Dang.
I
despise
just don't
it
like that one. Yes, I
Tell me
do.
more.
because of
Um,
for adaptation reasons or what?
yeah, I mean, it's honestly like if you look at the movies as a whole, like it's really a pointless movie. Like I know the purpose of the movie obviously because I had read all the books and everything, but I think it's very hard for people who didn't read the books and could even follow the story, and I just feel like it's just a bunch of fluff. And I also think the adaptation is awful. I also have a problem with that director because I call those the like awkward movies where there's just these random parts in the movies that are just weird and awkward and they think it's funny and it's not. Like,
Okay, we
let's have
gotta
the awkward
Chelsea's
dancing
coming out here
scene
for
in the
blood.
tent with
yeah, we
Harry
gotta
and Hermione.
yeah, we gotta dig it. We gotta dig into
I could
this.
go on.
Damn.
Oh man,
A lot
it's
of
just
unpacking to do there.
David
Yeah,
Yates. I'm coming after him.
Some David Yates heat in a big spot.
Yeah,
Jeez.
I mean, I don't know how just they made everything awkward. It's just the movie was awkward.
Teenagers are
And all
awkward.
these
Kind of
Yeah,
works.
but there was not any other problems with the other movies, and it's not funny. It's
Wait, you
just
didn't think 6 was awkward?
oh no, it was.
Okay. I'm about to say,
Yeah,
I'm like,
no,
I remember like everybody was like that movie was awkward. It's quite a bit different. And I was always like, well, yeah. I mean, if you read the sixth book was also kind of
Yeah, it's supposed to be awkward.
awkward, and because again, they've hit that point where
It's all hormones.
they don't know
It's
how
like
to
all it
handle
is.
themselves.
Yeah, that's like all. That's all that book is. It's just like Horcruxes and horniness.
Right? Yeah, works with teenagers
Yeah, exactly.
can give some weight to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but part one had too much chemistry between Harry and Hermione, which I was fine with that. But then it's also like it's gonna confuse everybody later on, so I don't know what to say with that.
Yeah. Well,
Do you have
they should
do you
have been
have
together
similar
anyways.
feelings to like the beginning of the first book? Like that half of the book where it's, the road trip and nothing's happening and stuff like that?
I mean, I think the book is different. It's just I think what was hard too, though, is that I do enjoy the movies and I really like the books. And I think there's just so much excitement reading the books. Like there's certain details like that may have not bothered me so much. And I just enjoyed reading so much more at the time in general and just visualizing it in my head that I think that's the problem too. Like people seeing what they want to see and then it's not what they see on screen.
Oh,
There's
yeah,
that.
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really hard to try and separate that from what you expect from a book and then what's actually presented to you.
Mm-hmm.
Like now that, the books have been done for so long, and it was easier for like the movie writers to make the movies like once the seventh book came out, because they knew where they were headed. But now that everything's done, the next time Harry Potter is rebooted, whether it's a movie format or a show format, like I wonder like
Do you think they will
how
reboot it?
different at some point. Oh, surely
They will.
it makes
It's
a bajillion
inevitable.
dollars, so they can't not reboot it.
I'm curious if it falls into that like that classification of film or story that's like you can't touch it.
I mean, if excuse me, if there wasn't already another Wizarding World movie series going on right now, I think that's like the only thing that's actually stopping them from diving back into Harry Potter itself.
Yeah, I don't know because I don't know.
It'll
see.
eventually happen. I don't think it'll be any time in the next like 5-10 years.
Yeah.
But it will.
Because I think
Probably not.
I think the wizarding, the thing that they're doing now, the ungodly, unnecessary Wizarding World nonsense, is them realizing like, yeah, we can't like just remake this shit, so let's just try and expand the universe. Just like with Star Wars, they're like, hey, we can't remake A New Hope, but we can make a bunch of other films about this. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
I personally don't think it will be remade, just because I think it just falls into that category of like we can't touch it. I think they'll just try and do prequels or sequels or stuff like that, but I just don't think they'll remake the books. I don't know. I just don't see it happening.
Well, I think it's only a matter of time until like the cursed child gets turned into a movie.
Yeah, see stuff like that.
As fun as that's gonna be.
I can see stuff like that. Like
I can wait plenty for that one. That's fine.
Or they'll make some like TV show about Harry Potter's kids or something.
Well, I mean, that's what is Cursed Child.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
well, it's about one of them.
Yeah,
I can see them.
The
just
other
kind
two
of,
can go suck it, apparently.
Or they'll make a sitcom about the Weasleys or some shit. You know, like
I'd watch it. I'd watch it.
Oh my gosh!
Like
don't give anybody ideas.
I see stuff like that
more
happening.
Ideas. I need that. I need a Wizarding Weasleys sitcom. Let's do that. Oh. Write it up. It could be like an Office style one, you know, where like they know, like, you know, like they're being filmed kind of thing. But like think of like how Mr. Weasley would react all the time. He'd be a mess. He wouldn't know how to contain his joy.
You also have to have some like
what the camera was.
Yeah.
Also that.
You'd have to have some like brooding drama about the Malfoys too, like some HBO series.
Gosh.
It's like really dark. It's like you know.
That's fine.
Yes.
I'd be into that. Or honestly, if they did like some sort of like mini series that fleshes out the Black family, like Sirius Black and his like crazy relatives and all their like weird kind of family heritage, like that'd be interesting. I see stuff like that happening before they ever remake the books. So, not that I'm saying it wouldn't be. If they did remake them, I think it would be better if they did it as a like a show.
Yeah, I'd like to see a show.
Definitely.
So they had as much time as they needed, because you know whoever is producing it is just going to throw money at it. So
yeah,
I'll go. You want 12 seasons? Okay, here you go.
Yeah, because if
they won 12 seasons, let's go.
Since it's Warner Brothers, they own HBO or whatever. It could just be like season on HBO. Each book's one season. There you go. Mm-hmm. The Game of Thrones route, but the difference is the books are actually written and not just in theory.
So. Yeah, seriously. Like, if WB owns HBO, why the hell haven't they made some kind of Wizarding World series yet? Like, what the heck, man?
Because they're all into these terrible movies they keep making. These.
Well, that's their problem, not mine.
What is it? The Truth of Dumbledore or The Secrets of Dumbledore? Isn't that the next one? Well, they got to finish all that stuff first.
I think it's Secret.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't there? There's like 5 of those movies.
Yeah, there's going to be 5, so we still got 2 more afterwards.
Oh God.
Supposedly, we'll see. We'll see.
5+ years to wait for that to be done.
Right.
Oh God.
Hopefully they'll realize that everyone forgot it existed and they'll just kind of walk away from it.
We'll see. You see all those people in that movie?
Yeah. It's not gonna die.
Oh, probably not.
No.
Well, anyway, you know, like we've talked about so much, but we haven't given any of our favorites and stuff yet.
That's true.
You want to start with the books?
Start us off?
Just dive right into it?
Sure.
Yeah.
I always have the hardest time when people ask me, well, which one's your favorite? Because they're all different. Like, tonally, they're all different. They all have, like, a different kind of, like, main emotion that's behind it. So it really just depends. Probably maybe the 5th one.
Yeah, Phoenix.
Because that's kind of, that's like the start of like the darker turn, but that's Harry like getting older and he's like feeling and learning to manage more of his emotions.
Yeah, he's very feisty in that.
Gets him into trouble a lot. You know, like there's a lot of unnecessary things that happen because he won't shut his mouth, kind of thing. But then or he's like always yelling and screaming at Hermione and Ron, even though they like looked at him funny, like poor guys.
Yeah.
But it's just he's a teenager who's learning to handle his emotions, while like the entire world thinks he's literally crazy.
Well,
So,
that and also like everyone around him, besides like a select few, are like boxing him out from important information.
oh
So,
sure, yeah, they're
so
keeping
it's like he
everything
has
from
he has like a really good reason to be pissed off all the time.
Yeah, and I
He's
always
being
tell
like
people that
he's
too.
being
I'm
like
like,
iced out.
yeah, it's not like he's just like a hormonal teenager.
Yeah,
He has he's given a lot of issues that are not his fault nor are his problem.
Yeah.
But but so for now, I'll say the fifth one, even though I love 6 and 7 too. It just kind of depends on the day.
Yeah. Yeah, Order of Phoenix is really good. Chelsea, what about you?
I would say my favorite is the third one, Prisoner of Azkaban. I've always just really loved that book. There's so much going on in that book. It just really, I mean, you could say that's like, I mean, each book it has so much in it that leads to the next. It just like, it sets up so many characters, so many things that just definitely lead to the rest of the series. It has some great characters from Professor Lupin to Sirius Black and just so many little interesting things. And I don't know, it's just a very enjoyable.
It's also kind of the outlier too, because it's the one that focuses the least on Voldemort.
Mm-hmm.
Since like Sirius Black
That's
is
true.
supposed to be like the antagonist or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
which is like kind of refreshing in a way, because it's just like, oh, every book's just going to be Voldemort's shenanigans and how he's going to do this, and it's like, oh wait, who the hell's this Sirius Black guy and why should I be afraid of him? Like, it's kind of a nice change of pace before like all hell breaks
That's
loose
true.
in
And
Goblet of Fire.
that's
Yes.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because honestly, I feel like if Prisoner of Azkaban was just another creative way for Voldemort to try and ensnare Harry, it would have become like very tedious. Sorcerer's Stone, he's just like basically leeching off Professor Quirrell in the Chamber of Secrets. It's like the diary. If Azkaban was anything regarding like something like that, I feel like it would have been like running out of ideas. But the fact that she just threw a huge curveball and barely talked about Voldemort, like, it was awesome. It was really interesting.
Well, for sure.
But yeah.
Well,
What about
my favorite book was always Half-Blood Prince. Like, I think that's the one that I enjoyed the most. That'd be the only one I'd actually want to reread. Like, I think about it kind of all the time. But I just
it's a good one.
I liked all the setup it had in it, and just like all the like it was like it was weird for like the main characters, because yes, it was like kind of like the romance was starting to flourish and everybody was trying to find like their mate and everybody was hormonal, but it was also like one of like the darker books for a lot of reasons, and it also had a lot of like more history and like lore in it that was very interesting to me.
It's definitely fair.
Well, there's the books. How about the movies? Completely
You know
different
which ones I don't
subject.
like.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
My answer is the same.
You like 6 still?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I try and separate books from films, because I watch films differently than most people. And on a technical level, I think Half-Blood Prince is like probably the best shot and the most gorgeous film out of all of them. The cinematographer that they had, he's French. His name's Bruno, I think it's Del Bonnell. I'm definitely butchering that name. But like the whole film is just like a series of like gorgeous like tableaus, and it's so moody. And God, I could just like watch that film with like the sound off, and it's just, I would just like stop it and take screenshots and use that shit for like, they're like paintings. They're just brilliant. I love it. all the story beats aside and the adaptation shit aside and whatnot, like that stuff doesn't bother me. I don't care about that. I'm watching the film for like the visuals more than anything.
I didn't mind the adaptations that they did in the sixth one. Like I remember like sitting there in the midnight show for 6, and especially like when they hit the Christmas scene, like when he's at the Weasleys and stuff, and the Death Eaters attack the burrow. There were so many people like screaming during the showing, like that's not in the book, that didn't happen, and I'm just like, shut up! This is so intense. Shut up! I'm trying to watch this scene. Like, is it probably going to matter? No, but that's not the point. Like we're watching it, it's happening. Like. Jenny's out here running in a row because she's going to kick some ass. Like, shut up. Also, I get to watch Bellatrix a little bit more. It's fine.
It's also a beautiful shot, too, because it's like a wide shot. Oh, I love it.
See, I liked whenever they took liberties and, like, made little extra personal scenes like that. Because usually when they happened, they were just more like character building, like small little moments and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I know not everybody feels the same, but it is what it is.
That's kind of how I view how films adapt anything. It's because if you are a filmmaker that has any like self-respect for the craft, you are going to put your own vision and imprint and artistic liberty with it because you're an artist. Whereas there's other directors who are just studio directors. They're hired, they do a job, and they get out, and that's whatever. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that stuff doesn't bother me as long as the themes are all still the same. If they add in stuff or take away stuff, if it makes a better like visual medium for me and makes that stuff flow better, I'm fine with it. As long as like major plot beats are the same and the overall themes are the same or still relevant to the story, then I don't really care about all the minutia that gets changed or oh this person didn't say that then. It's like, who fuck cares? Like, like it makes a better film or whatever. If you don't like it, then just read the book and don't watch the fucking movie. Like
gavel.
Like directors are artists. They have to like feel like they have some sort of like reason to do it besides just like taking a book and taking the script and just copy and paste and just and the shot list is that, and it's just like that's not like that's boring. Like no one's gonna do that, or no self-respecting director would do that.
How about you, Chelsea?
Like, there's no problem with following a lot of stuff that happens in the books. I think what's challenging with the Harry Potter books themselves is that because they were still being written when the movies were coming out, and on top of them, the movies having many different directors, that certain key elements, like if they were remade, I think they would highlight certain things more, especially dealing with the Horcruxes and having people understand what they are. And so I think those are some challenges that I have, and like some of the later stuff is just like personal challenges with, I just don't like some of the direction things went, but I understand, things have to be more cinematic. I would say though that I did like a movie that was definitely a bit different than the book, but it's also still my favorite book, and it's my favorite movie, which is also Prisoner of Azkaban. I think it's just very fun, and it's very enjoyable. It's definitely a movie.
I like it too.
I like the third one as well.
Yeah, I really like the third one. I love Alfonso Cuarón as a director in general. I also like that he turned the school and actually made it look like something that exists. And it has existed for years, because the first two movies just look like a retirement home. Like everything's so like
a set by set kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like everything's just so neat and tidy and perfect, and it just looks fake and doesn't look like this school exists at all. And then you get the Prisoner of Azkaban, it's like there's some like it's just like it's more established looking, I guess. Like it looks like a school that exists out in the middle of the European countryside, hidden from the world. It's old. It looks like it's hundreds of years old. Like
it, and how the school is portrayed in the third movie, like you see locales and locations and other things like that exist clear up until the final one.
Yeah.
So you have this continuity, even if it's just like a location continuity. Like it's a school. Like your school should probably look the same. Year after year, which is not something that the first two did very well. In most situations. you'd be like, wait, what? Like it's just
Yeah.
a hallway? Okay, just a hallway. But like in the other movies, if they were in a hallway, you could probably recognize it. Oh, like because like this classroom's here, or they were here in this movie. Like
Yeah.
it's there.
Mm-hmm.
I also want to say, like, especially with the last 4 being the same director, it was all like the same like sets and location. You know what I mean? Where like the first 2 films were the same director, and then after that it was just like one-offs until you got to Order of the Phoenix, and then it was David Yates. So there is, it is hard to keep that continuity in place. And I feel like they did a really good job. It's really hard to notice unless you're just like really like trying to nitpick. From like the third movie on, at least. Like the first 2 like don't even look like they exist in the same like series.
Right.
Like at all. Like it looks like it's like I don't know. Like it works because they're also like the 2 most like kid-friendly books, so the films are very like kid-friendly looking, and the school's very like non-intimidating, I guess. But I just hate how it just looks fake, I guess.
Fair enough. Well, I'll say that the third one is my favorite too, probably. I like them all. I don't watch the first 2 as much just because, like, yeah, they're there, they happen, they set stuff up.
Yeah.
Like the poor kids are still kids. Their acting isn't anything to like be excited for, But in the third one, like they like explode out of their shells,
Yeah. Do you find it hard to go back to the first 2 because the Dumbledore is a different actor too? Does that sit
No.
like weird for any of you guys?
I'm upset that
it's always bothered me.
It's to me, it just kind of is what it is because the guy
Like, I know.
died. So
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying like
Yeah.
that. I'm not talking about that. Like they recast him or whatever. I'm saying I
Yeah.
love Michael Gambon so much as Dumbledore.
it's hard to watch the other guy.
So when I
yeah.
go back and watch Chamber of Secrets and Sorcerer's Stone, I'm just like, man, I really wish Michael Gambon was here.
I don't know. I never liked it when it was the new Dumbledore, personally. I didn't like him as Dumbledore.
Oh
See,
man,
I thought he was way better as Dumbledore because I felt like the first Dumbledore was so stereotypical, like I'm an old wise man, but I can't really, like that's all I am. Like I just walk around, I spout off random nonsense, and then I kind of just disappear. Where Michael Gambon covers all the characteristics of Dumbledore, where he is powerful and intimidating, but also loving and kind of cryptic and kind of like witty. Like I don't see the first actor doing this stuff in the later films that would be required of him. Like that battle with Voldemort and Order of Phoenix would have looked fucking weird with that first actor, in my opinion.
I see what you're saying.
Like I think they probably got somebody that was a little too old, or they tried to find someone who looked too old or was too old. And it just wasn't, it was like the wrong balance. It worked for the first 2 films and it just wouldn't have worked for the later films.
Well, they should have just cast Jude Law from the beginning. Like, they should have just done that.
I can't buy into that either. I cannot. I just can't.
That's a whole other story.
I just can't get on board with that.
Oh man.
I feel like speaking of casting though, I do feel like I like all the casting decisions for the films.
Oh, for sure.
I like that they also had like a sort of like we're making sure that we're getting Islanders. You have to be like British or at least Scottish or Irish. We're not going to just like pull from anywhere. Like it kind of keeps the universe consistent, in my opinion.
Oh, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they nailed a lot of the casting. They kind of lucked out with a lot of the kid actors too. So.
Right. That's for sure. And it's going to be interesting to see just how people are casted if a remake or something like that ever comes up.
Yeah. It'll be Timothy Chalamet will be Harry Potter or whatever his name
God.
is.
No. Oh gosh, no.
Well,
No.
like now that now that we know like how big Harry Potter is and how long it is, like could you imagine being a parent and being like, "Oh, my son is being offered the role of Harry Potter, and I know that this is going to take up the next like 10 years plus of his life."
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, that'd be really difficult to sign off on, I think.
Yeah. I
Because at the time, like not like Daniel Radcliffe's family knew exactly what they were getting into,
yeah, for sure.
you know, to a degree probably, but not like
I
now,
mean,
like.
when the first Harry Potter came out, the series was popular, but it wasn't like this huge like phenomenon yet.
Hmm.
So it was, it was still in the early they didn't really know what they were getting themselves into.
God, I just can't imagine.
I also couldn't imagine like being those actors who are filming for all like what is it, 8 films? And then like when it gets to that last one, it's like, all right, now we're actually done. It's been
Yeah.
it's been 10 years. It's been fun. We'll never see ya.
Yeah.
Like those
So
videos from like the rap party from like part 2, Deathly Hallows Part 2 or whatever, are like so like depressing and sad.
Seriously though,
You
yeah.
know? Because like especially like as a kid actor, because you're like growing up with these like seasoned thespians, and they're like giving you like life advice and career advice, and you know what I mean.
hmm
Like it's that would be fucking weird too as a kid, because you're like growing up with these people. It's like school, you know. After high school, it's like, all right, cool. I'll never see any of you again. So,
I mean, yeah.
but yeah,
Well,
that would be a huge undertaking if you were a child actor. But also knowing like the potential, like career boost and like just financial boost you would get from it. Could you imagine like all the kids like for the casting call that are or the crazy parents that are like throwing their kids in the ring for it just to try and land them that spot, hoping for
don't
that.
don't audition the kids, audition the parents. That's what I do.
Hmm.
Ooh.
You get all those like pageantry like parents or whatever, that
Yeah,
the kids that never even had a childhood, they're just like parading their
poor
child
guys.
around. Yeah,
Poor
that's what it would turn
guys.
into. It'd be like a lottery situation.
Who do we hate less?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. You all ready to move on to our next category? We'll leave the books and movies behind for now.
Sure. Yep.
Okay. Well, let's go video games. How about that?
Yes.
Has everybody played a Harry Potter video game?
Yep.
hmm
Was it the Quidditch game?
Yep.
Play that one. Yeah.
That is
Ethan,
the
have you
best.
played more than the Quidditch game?
I've
Mhm.
played 2 Harry Potter games.
Oh, dang. Okay.
I played the original, the Sorcerer's Stone. I had it on PC,
Hmm.
and I would play it dozens upon dozens. I've played that game so many times.
Right.
And then I played Quidditch, and I want to say that was what, PS2? That sounds about right.
Yeah, I think I played it on the GameCube. I
And
think.
oh my god, I loved that Quidditch game. Like I would
It's
do
a
like
fun time.
I would do like full on seasons for both like the Harry Potter, like, the Hogwarts teams, and then like the World Cup teams. Like that was like my sports game for a while. Like setting up a franchise or whatever, doing that, playing that game all the time. But yeah, I never played any of the Lego Harry Potters. I didn't play any of the weird like video movie tie-in games for like the last couple ones where they try to make like third-person shooters with like the characters or whatever.
Hmm.
Like I never played any of those. Like I never really got into any of that stuff. I don't think there's any other Harry Potter game or like type of game that I know of, besides like I guess a couple mobile games they've done.
Yeah, there's a good few mobile games.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
tried each of them out, but I've never stuck to any of them.
Yeah, what's that newest one? Isn't it's basically like a gotcha game essentially? Like it has all those like mobile trappings.
It's amazing. I don't know what you're talking about. Talking about Hogwarts Mystery.
Yeah, I
I am
guess.
obsessed with that game. I've literally played that game every single day for the last year and a half. I am currently in my 7th year.
So they got you, is what you're saying.
I haven't paid. I mean, sure, they got me, but you know what? I haven't spent a single penny in that game of my own money. I have, bided my time. I've waited for my energy to refill, and I've, watched the ads for extra energy or coins and stuff. So,
Yeah, that's all the mobile like tactics that immediately turn me off a thing. Like I'd rather just pay
I like.
the $5 and just let me play the game. Like, you know, I don't want to
No.
sit there. I don't want to sit there and wait and be like, oh, you cast the spell. You got to wait 30 hours before you can do it again. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm just gonna go ahead and uninstall this. So- in 30 hours,
yeah,
I won't
it
care about
definitely
this
is.
anymore.
Yeah, it definitely slows down a bit at times, but when you level up, then you get more energy and stuff, so it works out. But I kind of like the story. I think people might have problems with the story, and I think it's because the mobile game decided to really draw out the 5th and 6th years, so they like added a bunch of like. Do you guys know anything about the story for that?
No,
I played part of the first year. That's all I know.
I think I played about 10 minutes of
Okay.
the game.
So you basically, get to create your own character, and it takes place 7 years before Harry Potter attends Hogwarts, and you're basically just like looking for your brother. Your brother was involved with looking for these cursed vaults, and they're like elusive, at Hogwarts and everything. So your character's trying to figure out what happened to your brother, and also trying to figure out what these cursed vaults are, and like, get rid of them. And so it's that, and you just like go to your classes and you see all the classic, Hogwarts teachers and meet friends and play Quidditch, and I don't know, it's fun.
Is there any
You can
dating?
also you can date your kid. Yes, there's
Yes.
dating.
No, that's what I figured.
Oh yeah.
A dating sim.
Well, it's only like a side part of it, but they need to, add more levels to the dating options. I've been at level 5, the max level for since February when they released it.
Oh my goodness.
I need like
Yeah.
a Harry Potter like simulation where I guess it's not even like Harry Potter focused, but just like the world focused, where you just build your own wizarding school, and then like you're building out like a curriculum. You got to get all these you got to get all these enrollments. You got to make sure and then you're competing against other schools in the world.
Oh my gosh.
Like I want like a high funnel like simulation game where I'm just like designing my school inside and out, like a Sims kind of.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh.
I just want to build my own like wizarding school and set my own
Yes.
class structure and like all that stuff, all the nitty gritty details. That's what I want. Give me that. Game developers
Yeah.
out there,
I'm still
DM me. We'll figure this out.
still holding out for Hogwarts Legacy, and I mean,
For
November is a
real.
big month for Harry Potter. Let's hope we get some kind of news this month.
It'd be
I'm gonna-
nice.
I'm gonna be real honest with you guys. That game does nothing for me.
There hasn't been
It
enough
does
to
everything
like.
for me.
There hasn't been enough to do anything yet.
I mean, I think I've mentioned it before in another episode of the podcast. Like Hogwarts Legacy, I'm really excited for it because I've always wanted to be a student at Hogwarts, and it's like the perfect game to do that. And I'm really curious. Like, I honestly don't care if the graphics look crappy or whatever. I just want to have that experience, just to be a student, do those spells, be in the classes, hang out with some creatures. If I get to go outside of Hogwarts, even better.
Yeah,
In-game.
I'm more just I need to know what this game is, because besides just the name and like they've shown like some not necessarily like gameplay footage, but I guess like in-game footage a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
But and like they've told us what the time period was. It's like 19th century Hogwarts or whatever. But I still don't fully know like what the game is or what you're doing or the play style. Is it open world? Is it a linear thing? Is it like an MMO? You know what I mean? Like, I don't. I need to know what this game is
I know.
before I can get
Like-
too excited for it.
Yeah, and the website, like, it tried to explain some of those things, but I totally understand it did not explain everything. Like, it's definitely not an MMO. It's supposed to be open world, I think. And what's really weird about the story they came up with, I read, it's that you start Hogwarts late, and you know this like special type of ancient magic, and that's the part where I'm like,
Oh,
so we're adding like new lore to the to the universe or something.
well,
So
that's the second red flag. Taking
Well,
some
it has to
liberties
come out
with this.
first. So
Yeah, that's true. And it's already been delayed. What has it been delayed twice now?
Mm.
Like one because of like obvious COVID reasons or whatever. But wasn't it delayed before that? Like I want
I
to say there
think
was
it
like
was just never officially announced.
I wanted to say like since it was like a Warner Brothers game, I think there was like some like studio head like issues or like department issues or something like that, or like this is all conjecture. I can't remember. I may be thinking of another game. I don't know. So
It's very possible. I mean,
I would like to see a cool open world Harry Potter game because like it would be fun to be able to roam around that castle. I feel like it's going to be hard to make Hogwarts like fully realized and not like disappoint because Hogwarts is such a kind of cryptic and mysterious and odd place. So to kind of make it seem like surprising at every turn and also like nostalgic and like oh yeah, this is what this should look like or whatever. Like that's a tall order for them. So
100%. Yeah.
So yeah, here's hoping it's good.
Indeed, we'll see.
Here's hoping we
see.
get news. Yeah.
Any news is good news.
Mm-hmm.
Unless the news
For
is,
this
hey,
game, at least, I feel
unless
like
unless the
unless
news
it's
is,
delayed,
hey,
it never-
yeah, it's like, hey, we just went ahead and canceled this project.
No.
It wasn't. It
Let's
wasn't
not
working.
joke about that. No. No.
Would you rather have this, or do you think a Harry Potter MMO would be cool?
I'll take whatever comes out.
Oh, okay. That's a safe answer, I guess. Safe answer.
Yeah.
Wade, you like MMOs? Would you want a Harry Potter MMO? Would you put 800 hours into a Harry Potter MMO?
800 for a Harry Potter MMO. Maybe not. It just kind of depends on what they do with it.
Like, what if it's like
I don't know.
You could, you pick your school. Like, it's not just Hogwarts. You can go to any school. Like, each different school is a different server. I don't know. They can make it interesting.
So if you want to go to this school, you need to move to a different country. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you need to get a VPN and figure out
You
your
need to
region
actually live in that
locking.
country.
Yeah, you gotta. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, like usually with MMOs, you can choose. You can go play on whatever you want. But if the server physically exists halfway across the world, you're not going to have a very good time. Like a VPN's not exactly going to help that out a whole lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like your ping time would just be terrible.
Yeah, I don't think
Just be bad.
you want to be dueling very. You want to be dueling very well.
Oh gosh.
Indeed. Indeed.
Are there any other Harry Potter games that you guys played or latched onto?
I played tons of the Lego games. I want to say I played every like main installment, like the movie games. I'm pretty sure I played them all. At least once. I tended to just rent them. I wouldn't buy them. I would just rent them.
Yeah.
But I had the first one or the first two, depending on like. I had it for the PlayStation. I had it for the PC. I had it for the Game Boy Advance. Like I don't know why. I just kind of ended up with them like that. And the good thing about like in the early days is that like the PC Sorcerer's Stone, that game is different than like the PlayStation Sorcerer's Stone. which is absolutely different than the Game Boy Advance. So it's not like you're playing the same game.
They
So
also
that was nice.
They also added a lot more stuff from the book that they didn't put in the film. Because like I remember in the Sorcerer's Stone game, you had to do. There were so many like stealth sections where you're trying to either hide from Filch or Peeves, the poltergeist.
Mm-hmm.
And I hated those sections so much.
Oh yeah, those are always awful.
Especially Peeves, because he would just like pop out of nowhere. I'm like, how am I supposed to do this if he can just go wherever he wants? This is bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I never played any, like, besides that first one, I don't think I ever played any of the other movie tie-ins. And I haven't played the Lego ones. I've always wanted to, but because I have played like Lego Star Wars and Lego Indiana Jones and Lego Jurassic Park and stuff like that. I haven't played Lego Harry Potter. Just never got around to it, I guess.
Me neither.
They're pretty fun. I mean, you can buy like the whole series for $5 right now. So in the bajillion hours of playtime. So
yeah, it's constantly on sale. Like always on sale.
Indeed.
What about you, Chelsea?
It's a good time.
Did you play any besides the one you're looking forward to the most?
Yeah, no, I played them on the PC. I definitely remember playing the first one, and I think I played the second one. And then I played the Quidditch game as well. That was on the Game Boy Advance.
Oh, wow.
I remember playing that, so a little different. And then I think there was another one I probably played like on the Game Boy, but I honestly don't remember what it was.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it was very memorable, but I think those other ones definitely stood out to me more.
Yeah, I don't know why Sorcerer's Stone. Maybe because I just played it so much is the reason why it's stuck with me so long. But because it's not like it's a good game. It's just there. It's just just exists, I guess. But yeah,
Just brings you into that world a little bit, so it's just fun to play.
I was like I think it was the second one specifically for PC, where you had to collect the different Bernie Bott's beans.
Mm.
yeah.
And it would like unlock different spells or like areas around the castle. I can't remember like what you got for it. Maybe it might have just been like chocolate frog cards. I don't know.
Yeah.
I always loved
Sounds
looking
like
for
it.
those.
It's definitely that era of gaming where it's just like, hey, we got to fill the world with like collectibles so you can get whatever from
Oh my
it.
gosh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because the first one definitely had that too, and I think it was for like trading cards, like they're the chocolate frog cards. I'm pretty sure. Like you had like an inventory for them.
Mm-hmm.
Because like each level had like all these hidden. I don't remember if it was Birdie Bots. It may have just been something, just like gems. I don't know, something not so established in the lore. I don't know, but there's definitely collectibles for sure. And there was also Quidditch in that game too, but I think it was just like flying through rings, and you were trying to catch the snitch.
Yeah, you just had to fly through the rings.
Yeah.
Stay on track, fly through the rings kind of thing.
Yeah. Yep. I do remember that.
Okay. Well, we've got books, we've got movies, video games. I know there was even there was a card game. Chelsea, I think you can tell us more about that one.
Oh yes, I guess was it officially called like the Harry Potter trading card game?
I think so.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I don't even know if I actually had any friends at the time who collected the cards. I just remember wanting all the cards and getting all the big like packs full of all the sets, and that game was kind of complicated, honestly, as a child. I felt like because you have these like huge like almost like placemats. They're like folded like out paper mats where you had to like set up where your deck goes, where the certain things go for the different spell cards and everything. And I think I probably tried to play with my sisters a couple times, but it was just fun to have the cool cards. So that was like the big trading, like that was a big card game, but there was also a Quidditch card game. I don't know if either of you are familiar with that one.
Really?
I didn't even know there was the other card game.
Yep, I had no idea.
Yeah, I definitely remember playing the card game with my mom and stuff when like my sisters were in dance class or something, I had to wait with my mom for them to get out of their class, I would be playing the card games. And I think it was just like, yeah, the two teams, and there were different cards that, I don't know, I think it was probably just very basic, like card, almost like War in a sense, but just Harry Potter-fied with Quidditch.
Have either one of you guys ever played or seen the like actual like the Quidditch like league that they do now or whatever, where it's kind of like a mixture of
like in colleges and stuff?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
SEMO had one.
Yeah. I've never actually played, but I've seen like videos of them playing. So
I didn't get to do it because they always practiced at like times that was just not convenient.
Mm.
But I always wanted to. Like SEMO had a league, and I was like, I wanna do it.
Yeah, I guess I don't know if I ever saw like this. I knew SEMO had one, but I just never like saw them like do it at SEMO. I like saw them, or I saw like YouTube videos, and I was like, oh shit, this is a thing. And then I realized that that SEMO had it, and that like other campuses, and it was like this big like thing. Because I didn't even know it existed for a time. I was like, oh wow, this is actually pretty like complex, and it's not just like a bunch of it's not just like a bunch of like weird like fan service like fun shenanigans out there.
It does kind of look like that when you see them practice, but yeah, no.
Yeah, I'm sure the practices are.
Full, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Like they practiced on the marching band football field, the practice field, when I was at SEMO. So we got to watch them practice quite a lot, and the whole band would be like, I want to do it. It was constant.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah, I didn't know that there were Harry Potter trading card games, or I've never even seen it or like come across it anywhere in any like card shop, or did it? I guess it didn't last very long, or just never caught on, or limited run kind of thing.
I mean, it could have been all of the above. I definitely think it was the first two, just didn't catch on and stuff. I remember the cards were very expensive too, and those came out, honestly, I think like right around 2000, 2001. So it was at the very early, and it had its own special art style and everything too. So it wasn't even like it looked like like later on, like the movies and everything.
Was it more like the art style from like the illustrations from like the books, like the cover art and like even like the chapter art and stuff? Was it more like that kind of style?
Yeah, it was kind of inspired by that,
yeah.
I think, and then just had its own spin because of all the other characters and stuff they added to the cards. But
maybe they should team up with Wizards of the Coast and just do like a limited run in Magic and just throw in some like Harry Potter characters. They did that with
there you go.
They did that with Stranger Things here recently. They did like a whole like Stranger Things like expansion or whatever. They can do it with Harry Potter. I'm sure that'll fit right in. I would do it. I'd get them.
Anniversary run. There you go.
Yeah, that'd be cool. But yeah.
Did you guys ever play like Harry Potter trivia? There was like a Harry Potter trivia game too.
There was a, what's it called? Seen It? That it was like the movie trivia that you had like a disc.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I had that. I think I had the Harry Potter, or like my sister, someone in our family had it, and we would play like Harry Potter Seen It. I remember that.
Yes.
I remember playing that one, but I didn't have like a Trivial Pursuit or anything like that we had a Lord of the Rings Trivial Pursuit. We didn't have Harry Potter.
No Harry Potter.
Man, I'd love a Harry Potter Trivial Pursuit. I play that sucker all the time.
I would be terrible at it.
Yeah. Because it wasn't like quite Trivial Pursuit, but it was definitely in the same like style as that. I think I did actually get rid of it quite a while ago, unfortunately, but that one was pretty awesome.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
Could have given it to me.
I know. I used to have all the Harry Potter Legos too.
Ah,
man,
that's too bad too. I always wanted those.
I
growing
do
up,
have
and they were
some of
too
them still.
expensive.
Yeah, those themed
No,
Lego
I had a
sets are
lot of.
crazy expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Like, isn't the
I
one for
s-
like the Hogwarts castle like $100 or some nonsense like that?
I think it was like over 200
Yeah,
because like
it's
Dumbledore's office was like $80. I remember
yeah,
that.
that they're really proud of the of those theme sets.
Hmm. They changed them over the years too because of how they changed like the color of the Lego people. Because all the Lego people used to be like yellow
Yeah.
colored, and then now they made it more of like the almost like flesh-like colored, and so it's very interesting. That's
Right.
I definitely had, I guess, vintage sets compared to the ones now.
I had Legos so much as a kid, and I don't think I ever had a themed set. It was more just like you bought like a box of just like 500 Legos.
Mm.
Like, I think when I was into Legos, they weren't really doing like themes, and if they were, it was like not super prominent as it is now. Because now when you go look for Legos, that's all it is. It's like
That is
whatever
very true.
popular IP. It's like Fortnite Legos and Harry Potter and Star Wars and whatever the kids are into now. TikTok Legos, I'm sure. Like fucking whatever it is. But like when I was in the Legos, there's just like a bucket. You just bought like a 5-gallon bucket of Legos for like $20. So it's like, here you go. Or they would have like the themes weren't like to IP. It was just like, here's like a pirate Legos. So it would come with like stuff to build a pirate ship or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't like
Yeah.
Pirates of the Caribbean Legos. It was just generic, Legos. How many of you guys have been to Universal, to the Harry Potter, like the theme parks?
I have.
Yes.
Yeah, Wade. Yeah,
I've
For
gone.
Wade and I've been together, so
I didn't go with you guys, but I've been twice.
I've been twice. Once when it was, so I guess this is Once when it was just the Hogwarts and Hogsmeade
Hmm.
area, and then I went again with Wade and a couple others for when they opened up Diagon Alley.
That's the same
So-
for me.
So yeah, went twice just so I had to do that second park or whatever.
Oh heck yeah.
Yeah. So you had to ride the train. Yeah, you had to get that full experience.
Yeah, I definitely did both of like the, I guess, interactive, because I don't like roller coasters, or I guess conceptually I do, but my body doesn't. So
Mm.
because I get really bad like motion sickness and that kind of stuff. So, but I did like the Hogwarts Castle ride, and then the
Mm-hmm.
Gringotts Bank, like the more like interactive rides,
Yeah.
I guess.
You
Like,
were
I'm
a
a-
trooper. That's what you were.
I remember standing in line for that Gringotts ride for like 2.5 hours.
Seriously, we got some
Mm-hmm.
really good pictures though.
Yeah, because I will say that's the one good thing about that park is at least for those two rides, at least the lines are interesting because you're like either
Yes.
walking through the castle or you're walking through the bank, and there's stuff to look at and things are
Mm-hmm.
happening or talking to you, or it's not just you're just standing out in the heat.
Yeah.
So at least
Makes it a little more bearable.
yeah. Which park do you guys like better? Like which side, I guess.
Oh.
Oh man.
Hmm.
Probably the Gringotts side. It seems it's more lively, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because it's Diagon Alley and Green.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
you got Ollivander's shop, which is kind of cool if you got to see like the actual like show or whatever
Mhm.
that they do. And like I like the dragon that they have on top of the Gringotts, like blows fire every like
Yes.
hour or whatever. Like there's
It
definitely
gets really hot when you're underneath that.
It sure
that
does,
fire gets
yeah.
pretty close.
yeah. Which is kind of nice because like the one time I went, it was like January or whatever. So
That's nice. I went in October and it was hot and humid already. So
but I think I
I like parts of both of them, though.
I think I like the Hogwarts side better. Because I think I like that ride better than the Gringotts ride.
It's smoother, I feel like.
Yeah, it was definitely better on my stomach.
Well, I mean, like, to be fair, though, in Gringotts, you're in, like, a minecart traveling underground, but the Hogwarts one, you're on a broom.
You're on a broom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just thought, like, I think the ride itself, like, the journey that they're taking you on, where you're just, like, flying through the castle and all the things that are happening, I thought that was more thrilling than the minecart thing. Which they're both well done, but I think I had more fun on the Hogwarts one. And I do like walking through Hogsmeade.
Yeah, that is nice. I'd say the Hogwarts ride I don't remember I don't remember it as well, is because there's a joke. I don't know. Whenever my family goes to a music park, there's always that one ride that breaks down on us, and that was that ride.
Oh,
I
really?
was like right in front of like the spiders or something, and the ride just stopped. So it was just like hanging there. I don't know how long. It was like probably 5-10 minutes, and I'm like, of course. So we're just laughing because we're like, this just happens to us all the time.
Yeah,
And
that would definitely pull me out of it too, I guess.
Yeah, it did.
It kind of breaks the illusion a little bit when you're just dangling there.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of get
definitely
peel back the veil a little bit.
Mm-hmm. But they're still good fun. Yeah.
I just remember the running around the I guess the Hogwarts park and like Hogsmeade. There was always that cart, the butterbeer cart, and I was just like constantly going. Like I had like 5, 6, 7 like butterbeers. Like I was pounding those things.
Oh yeah,
it was so good.
So good.
So expensive. They're like $10 or something for like a mug of like butterbeer or whatever. But it's like I don't care. I'm on vacation. I'm gonna slam as many.
So freaking expensive.
Yeah, everything. Yeah. And then like, didn't they do the like the train ride? Like you ride the train between the two parks or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's like sort of like interactive, because like the glass or whatever is like a screen or something. They're supposed to have like Dementors attack or some other shit. I don't know.
Yeah, you can kind of like see like the countryside and stuff as you're going through the train and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun to do that.
Did you? I guess you guys probably did all the roller coasters and stuff. Were all those like?
No, I didn't do them.
I didn't. Mm-mm.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
I didn't either.
I'm not a big roller coaster person, so
yeah.
Yeah, me either.
I would like to be, but I can't, and it's just not worth ruining my day. So.
No.
For real. But the 3D ones, though, like, those are amazing. And getting to go through, like, the bank and the castle, like, while you waited, though, like, even those little experiences, those are still so cool, so.
Yeah, I think they did a really good job with going through the bank, because they actually had, like, the goblins, like, interact with the people, and, like, they're moving around, they look like they're working, they're calling out people in the crowd or whatever. Like, I think that was, like, a good touch, you know?
Definitely.
Add some surprise and some whimsy while you're standing there forever, chugging butterbeer waiting to get on your ride.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
I still have that little cup.
I don't have any of my. I don't even have my wand anymore.
Oh, that's crazy.
Did everybody get a wand?
Money on a wand.
You did.
No.
I have the Elder Wand and I have Snape's wand.
Yeah, I had the Elder Wand. It's like, if I'm going to spend like $100 on a wand, I might as well get the best one.
It's only 50, drama queen.
Maybe the Elder Wand was 100.
Nope, it was 50. Like everything else.
Yeah. I'm like, I just got the butterbeer mug just to enjoy that. And bought, the chocolate frogs and stuff. But that stuff was still... Oh, that...
Yeah. I bought a bunch of the little candies because I liked the jars and stuff.
Yeah, same.
Nothing special about like those little candies, but I like to have the jars.
Yeah, even the chocolate frogs weren't even that good.
It's just, I mean, it's just a bunch of chocolate. It's just,
it's like not even good.
But it
chocolate.
wasn't good chocolate.
Yeah, it's like that. It's like Easter Bunny chocolate. It's just kind of cheap, cheap chocolate.
Oh no! We said you haven't had the good Easter bunnies yet.
No, we're past this. We're moved on.
Oh, did we?
But yeah.
I
never bought. Did you guys like buy the robes or anything?
No.
I mean, do I want to? Yeah. Will I ever? Probably not.
Out of all the stuff that I would have spent money there that I would probably still use to this day, like buying like a scarf or like one of the sweaters probably would have been a smarter choice than buying a wand and a bunch of other like tchotchke shit that I don't even have anymore.
That's fair.
Like I probably could have used a nice scarf for like a Slytherin sweater or something. So it's kind of my bad.
Yep. Until next time, maybe.
Yeah, definitely when Atlas is old enough, if he's interested, we'll go. I never understood why people take kids like infants and like 2-year-olds to like theme parks. It's like they're not gonna remember any of that shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's because the adults want to go.
Yeah, it's just
let's be real.
Like when Atlas is like old enough to actually care about a theme park or like even care about the actual theme of the theme park, then we can discuss going back to Universal.
Right.
But, like those prices keep going up and up and up too. It's insane how expensive that stuff is.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like when we went, it was like wasn't it like $80 or $90 a person for both parks?
That sounds about right.
For like both.
Yeah.
Now it's like $80 or $90 like for one park. It's like Jesus.
Yeah. Because then you have to spend extra to make sure you get like to go to the 2 parks in one day, so you could take the train because you have to have the ticket for both parts.
Yeah, because they conveniently split it up where you have to get both parks to do both Harry Potter. It's some bullshit.
Yep.
But whatever. It was fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to go back, but we'll see.
Yeah. I still need to go to Disney. I've never even been to Disney, like either one, Land or World.
Oh, that's World. We'll convince you. That'll be a whole special podcast episode. Yeah. Well, we'll go into that. I've been there so many times. We'll save that number for that episode.
I've only been there twice, but you know.
Yeah, I've never been. We were not a theme park family because I don't ride rides, and our family didn't take like vacation. We didn't take family vacations, so the closest thing to like a theme park was like when I was older, and like as like high school, and we would like drive to St. Louis to go to Six Flags, like. That was pretty much it. Or when we were kids, and I would stay at my grandparents in Springfield, we would go down to Branson and we would go to Silver Dollar City. But like, they had like more like craft things to do. It wasn't just like roller coasters. Like,
It's not like a themed thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely did.
They also had like a full on like water park too, and I liked water rides, even though I hate water. It's kind of weird. Like, I don't know how to swim, but I love water rides. So it's whatever. I figure I can't drown in most of that water. It's not deep enough. So
that's true.
But yeah, I can't think of any other Harry Potter themed stuff. You know. No,
I think we've done a pretty good job of going through most of it. Yeah, quite a bit.
I mean, there's Harry Potter Monopoly.
Oh my gosh. Crazy. Game changer.
Yeah, right.
Game changer. Well, but as we know, though, this is just the beginning of our little Harry Potter iceberg that we have going on this month. So anything that you two want to add before we end here?
No, just for if you're remotely interested in Harry Potter as either books or films, you know, just stay tuned for all of November because every episode's going to be something for you.
Yeah, we've got some pretty cool episodes coming up here that we're pretty pumped about. So
yeah, not all the episodes are just going to be us waxing poetic about Harry Potter. So it's
yep.
we've
stay
had
tuned.
things that we've got to do homework on, so
Yep. Yeah.
gotta get creative up in here.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If there's something Harry Potter that you want to hear about, please, by all means, let us know on any of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Email us at demasteredpodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to stay in contact and be social with you all online. But if you're there, go ahead and leave us a review as well. 5 stars or not.
Yeah.
Let us know. Let us know how we're doing, what we can do to help you all out a little bit better, keep things rolling. But other than that, we hope that you look forward to the rest of our month here with Harry Potter, and we'll catch you next time. See ya.
See ya.
Bye.